These 5 Houston major changes will create millionaires or will bankrupt investors in 2025. Houston is about to become unrecognizable, and I'm not talking about those small changes. I'm talking about massive transformations that will reshape these cities forever. By 2028, Houston will host the world's biggest event, break population record, and complete infrastructure projects that will change how 8 million people will live, work, move around the city forever. I am Wale Lawal. I'm a real estate broker and investor agent based in Houston, Texas, and I work with multiple people to start and scale their rental portfolio. So if you're thinking about investing in Houston real estate, relocating here, or you are already here wondering what is the next, this video is for you. The change number 1 is explosive population and economic growth that we are currently experiencing in Houston, Texas. Houston is experiencing the fastest growth in its history. According to Greater Houston Partnership's latest data, Houston added nearly 200,000 residents in 2024 alone. That is a new resident every 2.7 minutes. The Houston metro area currently has around 7.8 million people, making it larger than 37 US states. I'm going to mention a few of the projects that are currently going on in the Houston area or that are currently in planning that a real estate investors must track and do something about. The first one is the $2 billion expansion of the George Brown Convention Center with massive addition of the exhibit hall, retails, and the public space to support events like your 2026 World Cup, 2028 Republican Convention. Another big project that is coming up that you should pay attention to is the Elilili potential of 5.7 billion facility in Generation Park. This park could bring over 600 permanent jobs and 2,000 construction jobs starting in 2025. The next one is the Texas Heritage Marketplace with around 400 million mixed use in Katy, 750,000 square foot retail medical office, apartment, and green space featuring Target is set to finish by 2028, and this is really getting a lot of attention for smart investors. The next one is the Grand Parkway expansion, $58.6 million mobility boost, 5 segments, 10 lane miles, improving access from Fort Bend to Galveston by 2028. This is another project that you should be aware of. Another project investors should pay attention to is the downtown street promenade transformation with a $12 million development to revamp 7th block with greenways and pedestrian attraction by mid-2026. This is a project that would definitely change the face of Houston. So what is the economic impact with all this development and all this project going on? The Greater Houston Partnership forecasts that 71,200 new jobs will be created in 2025 by all these projects, pushing the total employment past a record of 3.5 million jobs. And the top growth sectors are actually the healthcare industry with 12,000 jobs projected, followed by construction with 8,500 jobs projection, followed by your professional services with 7,800 jobs in projection, followed by your government services, around 6,200 jobs to be created, and hospitality sit on number 5 in the projection with 5,900 jobs to be created with all this massive project going on. So as you can see, this is not just a population growth, this is an economic momentum. And with your 26 Fortune 500 companies with headquarters in Houston and also 47 Fortune 1000 companies that have their headquarters in Houston, you can see that Houston will continue to attract major corporations and big companies for several years to come. So here is the real estate impact. How does it affect real estate investor, right? So for investor, it means that massive rental demand. When 200,000 people actually move here to Houston annually, they will need a place to live. So I'm seeing a lot of single family homes rentals demand going up as high as 15% year over year in the suburb like your Katy, Cypress, Woodland, Pearland, Richmond, Texas. And also apartment occupancy rates are now above 95% in high growth area, which means that they are really doing well because there's a lot of people that need a place to live. Home prices are still rising between 4 to 6% annually, but even though they are rising, is still 28% below national average, because Houston, like I said, is very cheap as compared to your major metros like your Atlanta, your New York, your Maryland, your DC, among other expensive markets. So for home buyer, what does this mean to you? It means that the window is closing really fast. This is the time to take actions. You cannot go wrong by in your areas like Fushare that have seen a massive population growth. As a matter of fact, tripled their population since 2020, and home prices are still following that growth as well. So which means if you take action right now, you will look so genius in about 3 to 5 years to come, because you're gonna just look smart as compared to people that didn't do anything about the growth they are seeing in the Fushare area. The change number 2 is the massive transportation evolution going on in Houston right now. Houston Metro Project just launched the Metro Now, which is a rebrand of their $3.5 billion transit expansion with immediate improvements. And I'm talking about improvement like your $10 million investment in micro transit service for the year 2025, 700 plus bus stops becoming fully accessible by the end of 2025. I'm also talking about your $7 million in new security measures and police substations. Also, don't forget the new centralized rail maintenance facility that is opening in July 2026. Another project to pay attention to is the solar power integration. $7 million investment in Tesla batteries and 1,600 plus solar panel at metro facilities with 40% federal reimbursement expected. So let's look at all these in terms of real estate. How does it affect investors? The smart investors are focusing on areas near the existing and planned transit line. They are buying properties within a half mile of metro stations. They will appreciate between 6 to 8% faster than the car-dependent locations. With Main Street Promenade and Gulfton TOD project, I'm seeing investors interested in near downtown condos and townhomes, Gulfton area rental properties before transit improvement actually drive the price up. Also, I'm seeing a lot of demand in the mixed-use development along with planned BRT routes. The number 3 changes is downtown and urban transformation project. Downtown Houston is being completely reimagined right now. As I've mentioned before, the George Brown Convention Center, which is costing around $2 billion as a project cost, this is Houston's most ambitious infrastructure project. Phase 1 includes 700,000 square foot GRP Houston South building, Texas' largest ballroom, connection between downtown and East End, Central Plaza expansion linking Discovery Green, and this project is set to open by May 2028, which is a perfect timing for the National Republican Convention. The change number 4 coming to Houston that you should pay attention to is the global event and infrastructure preparation. Houston is preparing for the world's biggest stage, your 2026 FIFA World Cup. Houston will host 7 World Cup matches in NRG Stadium from June to July 2026. The preparations are actually very massive and is expected to bring 500,000 visitors over 20 days in Houston, Texas. FIFA Fans Festival in East Downtown, which we call EDO, and security coordinations between local, state, and federal agencies. And it also potentially could make around $1 billion in economic impact for Houston businesses. So NRG Stadium is currently undergoing the infrastructural upgrade to welcome these visitors in 2026. There has also been an improvement in the transportation coordination between 2 international airports. In line with the FIFA 2028 Republican National Convention is also going to be happening in Houston, Texas. So Houston actually beat Miami and Nashville to host the 2026 RNC, which means that tens of thousands of delegates and media are going to be coming to Houston. Major security operations, international spotlight on Houston, and the economic boost for hotels, restaurants, and local businesses, and even homeowners and Airbnb hosts. They're going to make a lot of money with all these 2 events going on in 2026 and 2028. So as you can see, these are not just events, they are proof that Houston is now considered a top-tier global city capable of hosting the world's most prestigious gathering, and the real estate impact simply means that global events like these create both short-term medium-term and long-term benefits for real estate investors that are taking action. Short-term rental is booming really fast in this area, like your Airbnb, especially around the NRG Stadium, because there's a lot of people that will need accommodation during these two major events. Airbnb properties near NRG Stadium and downtown are already booking for 2026 at around 300 to 400% premium rates. Cities that host World Cup typically see around 5 to 8% property value appreciation or property value increase that stick after the event. So again, if you have property around here, you can see that your property can just appreciate by 5% overnight just because they hosted the World Cup around your property. And this takes me to my number 5 changes that you should pay attention to, which is the climate resilience and flood infrastructure in Houston, Texas. Houston is finally getting serious about the climate resilience. Since 2015, Houston has experienced 6 federally declared flooding disaster. The recent data actually shows that 167% increase in heaviest downpour since 1950s. Extreme storm now drop 18 inches of rain versus 13 inches in the 1960s and 1970s. Also, 1/3 of major roads and highways are vulnerable to flooding. So as you can see that Houston will always face weather challenges, but for the first time we are seeing coordinated billions of dollars invested in solutions that could fundamentally change how the city handle extreme weather conditions like flooding. As you already know, flood risk directly affects property value and insurance costs, so here is what smart investors are doing instead. They are avoiding the 100-year floodplain and 500 floodplain entirely because the insurance cost can hit up 20 to 30% of your rental profits. So there you have it. Houston is positioning itself as a true global city. These changes will create incredible opportunities for real estate investors, home buyers, home sellers, and businesses in the Houston area, and anyone actually looking to be part of this rapidly growing metro. But here is what most people actually will miss. The timing does matter, and doing it right now means you could win big later. Home prices are still affordable compared to other major metros, which is about 28% below national average. The rental yield are still very strong because you can cash flow around $600 on a monthly basis on a property of around $400,000. Population growth also is outpacing housing supply, which what we are seeing right now is a 2-to-1 ratio. Also, corporations are relocating their headquarters. I'm talking about the Fortune 500, Fortune 1000, relocating their headquarters to Houston, Texas, which is driving the high-end rental demand. So the question isn't whether Houston will change, it is whether you will be positioned to benefit from these changes that Houston, Texas is currently experiencing. So here is my recommendation as somebody that has worked with over 400 real estate, home buyers, sellers, and investors. Here is what I'm telling my client. Top investment play for 2026 should be centered around infrastructure. You can buy in your East End downtown, you can buy near the energy corridor, you can even buy in your safe place like your KD Cypress area, and also you want to make sure that you buy in a neighborhood that has a lot of rental demand. So this is what I'm telling my client, and I hope you find value in this video and also take action as well. So if you're very serious about Houston real estate, or you're looking to invest, or you're looking to buy, I welcome you to schedule a free consultation on my calendar. You can find the link to my calendar in the description below. I'll be able to understand your situation and come up with an action plan, a game plan that will help you to acquire that property in a very strategic location that will position you for long-term appreciation multiple years to come. So before you go, I want you to watch this next video about Sarah and Marcus on how they turned their $40,000 in saving to over $1.2 million worth of real estate in just 4 years. You can watch the video here. I'm sure you'll be inspired by their story. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the video. Bye-bye.